That's right, they take our flag on it.
That's right.
I couldn't find it.
You guys gotta come up with some money for a little bigger flag.
Yeah, I know.
Budget's
Well, we
okay.
did, but it's going outside. Okay, is there scheduled appointments we have at this time?
No,
No. Approval of minutes?
not at this time.
Okay, how many weeks are we behind? 2 or 3? Okay. Signature payroll?
We don't, no payroll, you got a bill warrant.
Okay, payroll bill warrant.
Bill warrant W13-52, $78,643.55. Move to approve. We ain't got enough people though, right?
Move to approve. Well, you can move to approve, but I can't, I'll abstain.
Okay,
Oh,
move
this
to
is,
approve.
we don't have to have a vote on this.
No, technically no. But you can't sign it either, right?
No, she can
No,
sign
because it's not payroll.
Oh, so you need to, you
Yeah.
can-
it. We have PCFs for the fire department. Wait a minute, that's on page... PCFs for, first one I got is on page
I got one on page 3 of 40.
3 of 40. It is,
Richard Bloomston.
he is
Replaces.
replacement Todd J. Ross. He's coming in as a EMT
What's
and
his
fire,
name?
his name is Richard P. Bloomstrom.
Longstrom, yes, he's a paramedic.
Okay.
He comes in from Easthampton's firefighter, 1, 2, paramedic.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All approved? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we can delay the meeting a little longer. My car's all the way over behind the fire department.
Next one is Benjamin Hogan. It looks like it's a pay increase. Well, I got the chief here. What is the increase for?
Yes, he was a basic EMT. He's just gone through and became a paramedic.
Okay.
So it's a $1 stipend for, we're not at a paramedic level, we're at intermediate, so there's a $1 stipend between a basic and an intermediate.
Intermediate, okay.
So he's gonna be operating, all these people are operating as intermediate at this time.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one is Joseph Veal. I believe he is what, a new firefighter?
No, leave of absence
Leave of absence?
for military training.
Training, yeah.
Any comment, Bill?
Yes, he's one of our EMT firefighters. He's in the guards and he was sent out, I believe all the paperwork was there.
Yeah, it is. I saw it.
We're out west somewhere, and then he has to go, lucky him, to the Cape for some OJT.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one is Todd J. Ross. It's a letter of resignation.
That from the
Change in
fire
life.
department? Is that fire department?
Yeah, he's in the fire department. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All approved?
Aye.
In regards to Todd, Todd's probably been here just under 29 years in the department, am I right, Bill?
Somewhere around 20 years.
Okay. I'd like to, as the board's recommendation, I'd like to see a letter sent out thanking him for his years of service.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I believe that's the last one. Now, there's an PRF for the highway superintendent. I don't know what we've done about that. Reggie said that's my job posting. I am planning on leaving at the end of November, so if you want this person to come in and get some training for some oversight from me, I would recommend 2 to 3 months, no longer,
So when do you anticipate leaving?
the end of November.
So we should have him on board. We should probably try and have a commitment to him by September 15th and start.
I would say once we get the town manager set, he should be involved in the process.
But we should have a target of September 15th of knowing who we want and then
That'd be nice.
having him on board October 1.
Very good. That'll work.
So we need to post this now. So what do we have?
Posting,
So we draw
we'll
some,
post it right after our next meeting, after July. 9th, we'll all be here, okay? I think that still gives us time. Is there an appointment for Jeff Silva in this package?
The appointment form is not there. No, there's no piece.
So we just need a verbal right now? Now, just help me out here. Jeff was in the academy, he's coming back, he was in part-time status, now he's full-time status.
Correct.
I moved to appoint Jeff Silva to the police department. He has just completed the police academy, and he'll be coming on a full-time status. And we
Is he
need
gonna-
to move him from part-time to full-time status.
But is he replacing somebody in full-time, or is he?
This was a person that we hired last year for full-time and went to the academy, was trained, and now he's ready to be put into service.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Franklin County Regional Transit Authority contract, that's in here, Reggie? Have you read this, Reggie?
I just came through it.
Any changes from the past?
Yes, there is no stipend this year.
Okay.
For the,
The amount is lower as well.
no stipend for the managers?
Correct. They removed it.
The compensation of $16,622 is less than last year's.
Correct. 17,000 something is what was last
And
year.
if I'm not mistaken, when we were doing the budget, they were hoping to get 20 this year. So this means that they're gonna have to either find additional funds or
Change
work.
or cut down on the van service or, and they're looking into that.
Any questions and stuff like that? I do believe it's been a good service. I've heard nothing but good things about it. There you go.
If it's the same contract we've had before, I'd move to sign.
Second?
I don't know, I didn't look at it yet. I'd like
Yeah,
to-
we'll look at it. Look at it.
Yeah.
We can come back in the end and look at that. I'm just gonna sign these PCFs and hand them to Reggie. Senior Center, is this a
That's a
mental thing?
drawing.
Okay. Also, tonight, while Jackie's looking at that, we have some licenses for the Runway restaurant.
Yeah, I just got to that one.
They're holding the event at Harley Davidson. And they asked if it would be okay if they served beer and wine on their property. So we have a form that we, back in '07, created with town council. It's a hold harmless, not on town property.
I know, but I don't know if they can take their license and go to another establishment and serve alcohol there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's considered a one-day permit.
So this is the guys from Runway that are gonna do
Correct.
at the, so,
Why wouldn't Harley Davidson take the one-day permit out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
because they have certified bartenders.
Right, but the liability of the establishment is not there.
No. Well, I'm not sure about that, but it's Bashara's coming in to do the party, I guess, as catering, so they must be taking care of all everything, the food, the wine, the liquor. And it'll be so Bashara's doesn't have, the Runway doesn't have a current license from us, obviously.
No.
So they're asking for a one-day license to operate that.
They have it in Westfield, but
Not here,
No.
yeah. When is this for?
This weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this would be catering. Do they have to get another license for catering?
They actually took out a
Board of
permit
Health?
from the Board of Health, yeah. And they were approved, I
Okay.
believe, is what Paul had said.
When is this? This Saturday? When did they come in, today?
They called yesterday.
We gotta get more lead time on these, just to check them out. Because, you know, I'm questioning how many people are gonna be there.
Doesn't that, it's on our 300. That's their estimated, on the license, they put down how many they anticipate. I would like to check with Westfield to see whether there's any complaints against their license in Westfield. I've not heard of any, but that doesn't...
My whole concern is going back to that other event we had, having alcohol served with people on motorcycles and stuff like that, and I don't want to take responsibility for that.
I think frankly, this is probably the replacement event for that other thing, but this way they get around it because it's not them, it's not Harley asking for the license, it's a restaurant with certified bartenders.
They came in last week and asked for a separate event, and you, the select board, were not meeting at that time, and I had stated that, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. So they still held the event without the beer and wine.
That's Harley. But don't they have
No,
some...
Runway. Yes,
Okay.
Runway was doing something with Harley.
I'll be honest with you, I'd like to eliminate that. I mean, 300 is a lot of people for that area.
Well, I was just going to
And
say,
I'd love to have a comment from the police chief how he's going to handle the traffic in and out of that area.
well, I was going to suggest that if we approve this, he certainly should get a copy of this so he knows. He knows?
No, I always send them to him.
Well, my recommendation is I will sign it if there is an officer present on the property and an officer directing traffic.
Well, you're saying two private,
Two officers.
are they charging for this event?
I don't know, but there's a lot of activity there. And
Well, and this is sad, I mean, I don't disagree with you, because on Saturday, in front of the Big Y with all the traffic in and out of both establishments,
I mean, I'd like a comment from the chief, but I think he's on vacation.
He was not in today.
I just don't like people going in and out of there, being served alcohol and being responsible. And if there's a police presence there, it might be,
what if we approve the license with the condition that they employ two police officers in whatever capacity the chief decides is appropriate? The license, we grant the license with that condition.
I'm fine with that.
And what about the fire department? Should they be involved at all or be at ready?
Well, I mean,
Warm up that stretcher.
they still have to service the town, and if that happens within town, they'll have to deal with it, or call for mutual aid. I'm not saying there's gonna be a problem. You're here, Bill, you can,
That's the second motorcycle gathering on Saturday. Is that for this Saturday?
yes.
There's another one in the Polish Club on County Road also. And that motorcycle crew is coming down through Southampton also.
They're at Pilsudski Park.
Yes. But their route of travel is to come back down East Street on Route 10 and up into the hill towns. I don't know how many motorcycles they're gonna have there.
Well, is that Polish Club in Hoyoke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have no control in
No
it.
control on that one.
Well, we have control in this one. I think we have to cover ourselves in decisions.
What hours are they saying there? 10 to 4. So 10 to 4. So move to approve with with the condition that they employ two police officers.
You good with that, Jackie?
Yes, second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry. Mike,
That's all of them, or just that one?
that's just all the backup material in the check. I think you took the checks out.
Yes, they did. Actually, they did not pay yet.
Oh, well, third condition.
This is another one-day permit at Conan Park for Aaron Tosnick of Easthampton. Everything's here, I believe. Looked at these earlier today. I make a motion. No, I can't make the motion. Mike,
Move to approve.
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye. It's just one here, right there. Okay.
easy when you drive in.
You get that?
Third one, one-day beer and wine license for Conant Park for Richard Fazil, July 14th. From noon to dusk. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Just
Is that Fasoli?
Fasoli, yeah.
Yeah, Fasoli.
But the application says noon to 7.
If it's on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, Sundays,
Here it says
they
noon
serve
to
at
dusk.
noon.
If it's 7 or dusk, which is the right one?
Well, they're leaving at 7. We put dusk on.
Oh, okay. So they can serve later
I
then?
mean, there is a rule over there that everybody's supposed to be out by dusk unless
All right.
it's prearranged.
Move to approve.
Jack, do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, with that being said, I got, town administrator wants to talk about the end of the year preliminary report.
I did not get to finish giving you what you have for end of year. There are a few accounts that you're short in, and I believe that's what Vicky's here for, correct?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here. I was asked to be put on the agenda, but apparently an email didn't get to me about scheduling a meeting between us and finance committee to talk about the year-end transfers and whatnot, but I think that that's my job. I mean, I should be the one to come to the finance committee and to the board after I've reviewed all the accounts to say, you know, this is where we're short, this is where we think we should move the money. You know, I think that's part of what I was hired to do.
Well, it is your job, but we need to all work together.
Well, exactly, but I mean, that's why I'm here and that's why we wanted to discuss that, so.
The end of year transfers that I wanted to discuss with the board had not to do with the whole entire town. It had to do with the accounts that we deal with in this office. I know what bills are coming in. I know what we've paid so far. So that's where I wanted to discuss with the select board
That's fine,
tonight.
but-
Not the whole entire end of year. That's the finance committee and the select board under the Mass General Law.
But with your discussion before the meeting, we talked about, there's a memo that Vicky sent out that everybody needs to have their stuff handed in by the 11th of July, am I right?
We're going to actually process, the bills are going to be, we're going to actually process and post everything on July 11th.
Okay, let me back up a bit. But we did send a memo out to all department heads and all committees that has to be done.
Correct.
Okay. Did you hear any feedback that people can't meet this?
I have not.
Being the department head, was there any verbiage in there, and I saw the message, but I don't remember, about anybody going to need to incumbent funds?
There was a piece in there about encumbering the funds. You know, if you're going to have bills that I'm not going to get by July 3rd to pay for, you know, or possibly Monday to pay for July 11th, I need to have those because I cannot do any budget transfers until I know what those are for.
My experience with that, that's a letter stating a bill hasn't come in that was purchased, for items
Correct.
purchased, and it's there.
And
It doesn't, when they encumber funds, it doesn't allow committees or boards to encumber surplus funds that are earmarked for anything.
Everything that's been spent by June.
Because I think we've had that problem before where funds were earmarked for, say, 2012, frozen and carried over, but they weren't spent until the following year. You know, I didn't know if we're going to be doing that anymore. I hope
That's
not.
also in that memo, you know, I can't be worried about bills from, you know, May, June, and July in September.
Right. So the 11th is a drop dead. Everybody's been informed. You haven't had anybody concerned about that or any memos. Now, on the 15th is a drop dead date from
Correct.
DOR, which has been out there for years. For some reason, we didn't do it last year. I think Dave did it. But this year here, we're doing it with the board, the finance committee, and the board of selectmen. Am I right?
Correct.
Now, is there any flexibility in that date? Because we don't meet the 16th.
You don't meet the 16th.
Well, we won't be meeting, we meet the 9th and the 16th.
No, the 9th and the 23rd.
The 9th and the 23rd,
That's too late.
so,
I talked to Joe Woodrow and, you know, their preferences, you know, the law says July 15th.
So if we met, and everybody put their 2 cents, and I'm not trying to direct this in one way or the other, I just want people to find out what's the best date that we meet. If you have to have it done by the 15th, we can't do it on the 9th, which is...
Correct, because I won't have
Because you need it
any-
by the 11th.
Those
So
won't be posted by then.
is this a suggestion, can we meet Monday the 15th to just do that and be in compliance?
Yep.
What's the board feel about that, or Reggie
I
too?
thought John was gonna become, like, maybe he got tied up or whatnot.
What I'm sorry, Mike, what we've done in the past is we've met prior to the July 15th date. The board voted on the majority of the transfers, and then David Keelson would come down after the fact and give any additional transfers to the select board. I'm just telling you, this is what you've done in the past.
Yeah, but I don't think we did it last year, because I wasn't...
You didn't do it last year, but you did it the year before
Yes,
and
we
all
did.
other prior years.
Yeah, I know, and I know that, but I just...
And you have met on other dates to meet that
And
deadline.
this is my feedback, and I'm glad you gave me the history. My feedback on that is, we are constantly missing dates with DOR, and we constantly are being told we're not doing things properly. I, for one, would like to meet the date of the 15th. I don't know what the pleasure of the other two members of the board member is, but if we can meet on the 16th and get the majority of it done, that's ready to be done, I would like to get it done on Monday the 15th.
You said the 16th. just-
I'm sorry, the 15th.
15th for me is iffy, because I'll be coming back. I don't know whether I'll be able,
Four on vacation.
I don't know whether I'll be able to get
There
back.
are 3 people that can meet during the day.
I'll find
I
out.
would like to, I'd like to be on time for once.
But in the meantime, for the other board members, would you like them to see something on the
Yeah.
9th? You know,
Yeah, oh yeah, I
preliminary,
mean, whatever
you
we
know,
have
that's
on the
what we're
9th,
talking about.
whatever we have ready on the 9th, I don't know if she's gonna be prepared, because there's people don't have to have that last warn-in until the 11th.
Correct.
But could we do the ones that first
That are
come?
already negative?
Yeah.
Because I know that there's bills out there that we haven't paid yet, and it's gonna drive these negatives even more, or drive something negative already.
But I mean, if somebody's handing it in on the 15th, but other departments might have had them in earlier, we should do those.
Let's do
So
what we can on the 9th. Go
It's a
ahead.
joint meeting between the finance committee
I
and the
know.
select board, so not only do we have to schedule it with the select board, you have to get the finance committee members in at the same time. So that's the other thing.
Somebody's gotta be the catalyst here.
That-
And
I
I'm
don't mind
recommending
doing that, but I just,
that
can
we
the
meet,
finance meet during the day as well?
some of those guys work during the day.
Yeah.
so we do have a meeting?
We got a meeting on the
You
9th.
got a meeting, I thought you had posted a meeting on the 9th for
Yeah,
them.
you have a meeting on the 9th.
And they've been invited?
I did not reach out to them yet,
Oh, all right.
but that's on my schedule, to reach out to them to say, can you meet on the 9th to talk about end of year transfers?
So,
How much of this can we do on the 9th? Whatever is available?
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, but I don't wanna take money from accounts.
That might be drained.
Well, no, that you have money in, but then all of a sudden bills come in for that account, and then that account's negative then, after you pay those bills.
Can we send another memo out this week? People that have it, don't sit on it and get it in as soon as possible before the 11th?
I mean, they should
I
be,
mean-
but,
I'm just tired of seeing Southampton miss deadlines and ask for extensions. It comes back and hurts us on our bond rating. It comes back and hurts us with the auditors. I mean, we need a proactive approach here to meet things in a timely manner. And in years past, it said it wasn't a big thing, but it came back and bite us. On the audits, it came back on bond ratings and on grants that we're slow on meeting deadlines. And they need that information to score things properly.
Our meeting on the 9th, that's before your deadline, it's not after your deadline.
No, I agree with you. We can do whatever we have ready on the 9th,
Yeah,
which we're gonna meet. We can do that night if everybody agrees to that. And then
do it again.
do it again as soon as possible, preferably if the board wants to, on the 15th. But I just don't wanna miss these deadlines.
the 9th, the 9th I'm not here.
Okay.
The 15th,
Dave will be here. You'll be here?
I'll be
be here.
the 15th I might be here.
I'm gonna get a rainbow tonight. Okay, and Liz might be here. So the 9th, we can clean up whatever you can, and can we tentatively, after Reggie talks to the finance committee, or one of us talks to him, or both of us talk to him, and say we want to meet on the 15th, because we think, I feel it's critical, I don't know what you two
Well,
people.
John Martin, when I saw John Martin coming in the building, does somebody want to go upstairs and see if we can,
They weren't meeting tonight,
oh, maybe he was coming in to vote then.
yeah, because he said he was gonna come, because I, you know,
He came in the building with me, but
I just want to get a solution, because I think it's important that we do this.
Well,
I'll just reach out like I've always done.
to shoot out an email
Yeah.
tomorrow, and we need to know within 48 hours if they
Do you
can.
want it during the day or in the evening? That's
Well,
my
I can
question.
meet during the day, or I can meet late afternoon, I can meet anytime. How's your schedule, Jackie? Is it tough for you?
Tell me when, I'll be here.
Okay.
I mean, my fear is that
I mean,
we,
Dougal, sometimes, he gets out like 2:30.
my fear is that we go through this exercise on the 9th, and someone has 5 or 6 grand we can take to, plug a hole someplace else, and then they end up spending that line because they had bills from, March, April, May, June, July, or, through June. And so then that becomes negative, and then you're taking,
I agree with you.
it's,
But we got to work together and meet these dates, work together. And
There shouldn't be that many large ticket items that fall into that category, I wouldn't think.
You'd be surprised.
Well, no, but I'm saying, you're saying with somebody who's got $5,000 unspent in their account, and they don't know they got a $5,000 bill coming?
I do have bills that, we've sent back because there's been no money.
Well, the other thing too is if
So,
it's purchased in July, they're getting it back.
Yeah, goods and services have to be performed or purchased in the month by June 30th. So, we can't have people buying stuff on June 30th because then we're not gonna get the bill till August, and I can't hold the books up till September to try and accrue stuff for FY 13, because it's just, it
Well-
takes too much time.
One thing is payroll will be resolved by the 9th. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. And then the 11th will resolve whatever is out there for expenses.
And the other side of the coin is, if anybody's sitting with $5,000 that unspent, I don't want them to spend the $5,000 for the sake of spending it, so they...
It's,
No, but if they have bills that they haven't turned in yet.
Well, no, but people being what they are,
I understand that, that's.
there's a philosophy of municipal government that if it's in the account, it's meant to be spent. And if there's a balance there, I'll spend it by the end of the year so they don't take it back.
But, yeah, I understand that, I guess I just.
So, if they have a legitimate reason for it, we don't want to take it. But if it's, I'm going to spend it kind of deal.
well, things are lean, and I can't believe there's much out there.
That's why I can't believe there's going to be many accounts with tons of money left in them that are going to be spent.
Well, there are some legal bills that haven't been paid, there are some Holland Spring waters that haven't been paid. I don't know how much money we have left to pay for the design company, I don't know how much money we have left to pay for the accountant, how much we're gonna carry over for the audit. There's all these things that we've only paid through March, and we have April, May, June to pay yet.
Vicki, on the audit, we had this discussion last week. We talked about how we're going to pay the auditors. There was $5,000 appropriated for next year.
Correct.
And we were going to use that to pay for the auditors. I see $2,000 in the last expense report, which was given to me, that has not been spent. I don't know if there's
I haven't
earmarked.
gotten the bill yet, so, but
I don't know if there's
what
stuff
that
earmarked for
is,
that.
because I don't
But we're hoping to pay that audit that we have to do with the fire department out of next year's appropriation.
How much are they gonna charge us for the rest of it? That for next year for the whole fire department. I don't have any idea.
Up to 5,000.
Up to 5,000.
We don't know yet, they just wrote up to.
Up to. It's
And that's what the board's
a time
doing.
and, it's a time and spent, kind of.
Well, we were hoping to do another audit, but we officially haven't taken a vote, I don't believe, but we decided we're going to take that money and pay for this extension they wanted, and then think about an audit next year, or we might have to move it off another year.
I guess those are things that I need to know, so that I know that there's not gonna be any more, deficits in it.
As far as like the legal and the Poland Springs, and those are the accounts that this department here handles, and we've been asking for reserve request transfers, so this is something that.
And some of them, they granted some reserve,
Yeah,
some.
but they didn't grant the Poland
Bring
Springs,
some.
they didn't grant the paying the Southampton Water Department, or the highway departments,
But they covered some,
yeah.
so our count numbers are down.
But I'm gonna explain this to you. The reason that the account is negative for Larrabee Building is because we paid a $3,000 bill, which was legitimate, to Rockland Trust, which I did, because we had to pay it in a certain amount of time, and that was unforeseen circumstances. So that's why the account
Rockland
is-
Trust is the roof, right?
Yes,
Right,
so that's
and
why the
you're-
account is negative. it, but if you don't explain that to the finance committee, they're not gonna give you the money to pay for the poll.
Because it wasn't budgeted. We understand, I understand
Let's
that.
explain to them.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess that,
And that wasn't the only one.
So-
5-star, the 1575 court,
Yeah.
that was another item, and it was explained to the finance committee on several occasions.
Yeah, I did. I did that myself, but,
I mean, I have, you know, they approve and disapprove based on backup information that they are looking for in order to do that, but, you know, that was one of the reasons why that one wasn't given. If that doesn't get explained, then, you know, they aren't gonna approve it. But
I know.
that is unforeseen.
well,
That was unforeseen.
I personally understand why they do what they do, the hold down costs, but when we get an unforeseen bill, whether it's a highway department, police department, or even any other department, they want you to stay within the budget, but it was never in the budget, it was never projected to happen, and it had to happen, and we need to track these and make sure they're followed up, and I think we all need to do a better job in that, and so they get done. But I hope we're on the same page.
Reaching out
The
to...
9th
The
is,
9th is going to be the end of year preliminary.
whatever's ready, she's going to bring in.
The 15th, we're going to reach out to the finance committee, remainder of select board, to see if they can meet, and go from there.
Right. And whatever you need, you should get. We need to get this done, and we need to get it done in a timely manner. And I'm from one that writes some grants, and it's over the last 10 years, they used to do grants based on face value. Now every section's got a score to it, and when you add up the scores, the higher scores gets the grants, the lower scores, such as your rating is not right, there was deficiencies here, we missed timeframes here. They look at all this stuff, and these agencies are so connected now with computers. They know the answers before even I write the grant. So we need to start pushing forwards and meeting these timetables because they work against us. And so-
And we all need to work together.
I understand that.
I mean, in the select board office as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do that, but I sometimes don't get information, so I'm trying to hopefully get better information from people.
And it works both ways.
Okay.
I've never not given any information to the select board that they haven't requested. So, you know, I can't,
Well, we're not here looking for winners or losers.
I'm not.
I want to resolve this, I want communication, I want a two-way street, and I think the board as a whole wants a two-way street, but it's imperative for me, as a selectman, to see that we have harmony and develop harmony, and it comes from all directions, including myself. But I think that meeting this timeframe of July 6th, 15th is very important, that we start a trend.
because that's my.
No, I know.
So, I mean, that's part of what.
And you are the liaison with DOR and all the accountants and everything else. It focuses around you, and you need information. I understand that. I think everybody understands that. Okay?
Do we submit the end of year transfers to DOR?
We do not.
Oh, okay.
But we have to have it done for DOR, for the
Right.
checklist.
That's not anything that they require any information from us, but if the auditors come in and find it different, then that's something that they report on, so.
Well, if it's, in my industry now, like, agencies don't come in, like DEP and conservation, they don't come in and they do the reporting. They expect you to hire professionals to do reporting and report back to them. And because now I have to have engineers doing inspections at the transfer station and the water department, not the DEP like it was 15 years ago. We have to pay professionals to come in and do the monitoring for DEP. They don't do it themselves anymore. So I see it in your area too, as another state agency making that happen. Any other questions? Anything you need?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Anything you need? Anything you need?
Nope.
Okay, I'm asking. Okay,
So July-
calendar, July 9th, do we have that set?
Yeah.
And the 6th, 15th is, we need to come back with these two members and see if it's all right. I know some can't make it, you can't make it.
Well, I don't know, I'll try.
Okay.
Depends on when I get
Is there a
back.
preference on time?
Evening,
Okay.
for me, on the 15th.
If you can get in the evening, fine, but it has to be moved to the afternoon. We probably,
Yeah, if it's during the morning or day on the 15th, I won't make it.
yeah.
If you need in the evening, I might be able to make it.
Okay, and you'll reach out.
Yeah, I will send
Okay,
an
get
email to
that.
everybody.
Very good. And do you need to send another note out to everybody to try to, if they get stuff ready, to send it to you earlier?
I will.
I think that might be helpful too. Don't, you can move if you want.
Somebody's got to move.
Somebody's gotta move.
Yeah.
And there's not enough.
Yeah, there we go.
Not enough hot up there.
Okay. Open time for the public. I don't see it on here, but George? William? Vicky? Okay. Select board updates. I have an update in regards to Labrie Field. We've had a lot of rain, 8 inches of rain. It's put a real curve into the work, finishing up the work. I'm a little concerned with the timeframes, but our contract spells out specifically that we will have an accepted standard grass before we approve it. So that's not on our back, that's on the contractor's back. They just finished all the fencing and protective fencing at the Conant Park. The dugouts are in, the parking lot's finished, the driveway's finished with the exception of the first 100 feet to be paved, and that'll be paved by the highway department. There is some washout areas to be reestablished, and some modification in drainage, grading. We have a couple puddles to take care of. And the architect and the contractor have been on site meeting with me on a weekly basis. It's going pretty good. We just got we should have been done by now, but this weather threw about 8 weeks into the curve. But once it's fully completed, I like to keep it closed down to establish a good frame of grass for about good part of a growing season. So hopefully next fall, not this fall, next spring we'll be able to use it. Okay.
Thank you for that. And we were talking about the license for Conant Park for the motorcyclist. They said 300 people?
It's not for Conant.
No, it's for Harley Davidson.
Oh, Harley Davidson, okay. But if you had a large amount of people at Conant Park, how would that affect the grass right now? If you had a large amount of people at Conant Park, how would that affect the grass? I mean, what would you do to...
One of the reasons why we're taking our time to grow, we're not taking our time, it's just we're using a lot of bluegrass, which has a high resistance for traffic, foot traffic.
Right.
Where some of the other bench grass and the fescues and stuff like that, and the combination grasses, they don't do with traffic well. But with ball fields and golf courses, you use a bluegrass, which takes a longer time to establish itself. And the more cuttings you get before you put on it, it forces it to spin down. So it needs time, but it should take the traffic. There will be areas like when you have a kid in the outfield, it always goes to the same spot and drags its feet. There's going to be a bare spot. Or, at home plate, somebody goes over, it's all these little things. It's maintenance,
Right.
try to stay with it. There's an announcement we have for the new cane, Boston cane.
The old Boston.
award.
Yeah.
Mr. Melanson has passed away. He had the cane for, I think, 3 years? 2007. From 2007, and he has passed away, and I want to acknowledge that, and I think the cane is given to the oldest citizen of Southampton, and with that being said, Mr. Melanson passed away, and the new recipient will be Mrs. Ruth Fisher. And if any members are available, we're going to go to her house and present the cane to her. July 2nd, we're just waiting for a time frame where we can meet her and give her the cane, or give her the award. The cane stays here in the Southampton Highway Department, in the Southampton Town Hall. Okay? Any questions? I don't think it'll be more than 10 or 15 minute ceremonies, but we'll go to her house and present it.
What time?
Reggie's going to get the time. Reggie and Eileen and myself so far are going. And anybody else is welcome. Okay. And you can keep her informed right up till we get there. Hammond Ponds Parade invitation is in our pamphlets. I won't be available. I know, Jackie, that's one of your big things. With the fire department.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Dr. McGoogle's around and maybe Liz, they might be able to go.
I'm gone.
You going?
I'm not going, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Okay. Are we scheduled to implement a master plan committee tonight, or are we just, we're
No,
still, okay.
just letting you know that we received one letter of interest for the committee.
Okay, but we need about 9, am I right?
Yeah, but I'm thinking, why don't we appoint that person tonight?
Okay.
And then he can maybe set about organizing it and getting himself, it's Hank.
Yeah.
I mean, Hank has been spearheading this from the beginning. I would move that Hank be appointed to the Master Plan Implementation Committee, Mr. Hank Barton, and be acting chairman until the full committee is constituted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, is there requirements at Board of Health, not Board of Health, but the planning board's on that? Is there
Not on
any
the
stipulation?
No, not on the implementation committee, is it?
I don't know. I would think they would have if a project's going through, there should be some kind of liaison.
I don't remember now.
I don't know how it's spelled out. I don't
Can I
remember.
get that information back to you?
Yeah, but Hank wanted to be, and Hank.
Yeah, that's fine. He can orchestrate.
At a large, and he can work out the,
Okay.
Okay, I saw some emails going back and forth in regards to the status of the dispatchers and union contracts on vacation. Is that still up in the air?
That is still up in the air. On page 34 is the email that was sent to Mr. Dixon. I have not heard back from either the representative from the dispatch or Mr. Dixon.
Okay, when you see the chief, would you ask him for a dollar amount so this board will know how much it's costing us? Or what it's gonna cost us?
If it doesn't go through?
Correct. There's a request, there's some requests in here for vacation carried over. One of them's mine, so I'm gonna step down from the board.
do it without you.
Okay, so you can pass over mine then, I guess. But Chief Silvio has one in there. He has, according to the memo I received, he hasn't been able to use all his vacation because budgetary process and also not having proper subordinates or proper staff coverage for officers to run the shifts. So he is asking for a 1-week carry forward.
We haven't done this in a long time, I don't, that I remember.
No, and if it's gonna, we used to go to policy procedures, but policy procedures moved mine to the board because I was a department head, so I'm assuming they would do the same thing to him, so he just brought it to us. So,
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, it's just luckily we haven't had to do it as long as I can remember. But I'll move to approve a 1-week carryover for David, Chief Silvernail.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll bring mine up so when I can.
And we'll get everybody here.
Okay, highway job description, that's on hold. Fire chief position status, anybody know anything about that?
I have not heard anything.
Well, there's some policies here. I would like to have a feedback from the Policy and Procedures Board on the no tolerance for violence, bullying, or harassment in the workplace. The second one is, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ed. The first one was sent to everybody, but the only person that did reply back was Mr. Koza.
Well,
So it was sent to all boards and committees. You want
yeah,
to
well,
resend it again?
if it's a policy, I'd like to have some input from Policy and Procedures. I think it's only,
So resend it again to them?
yep.
Is that what you're asking?
And then the key and lock policy, is there some updates we're going to do?
That was established when Chief Silvernail had sent it on email saying that there was too many times the door was unlocked. And I don't have all that information in this packet. It was being your previous. And he has not reported from that last email how many times it's been unlocked. So I drafted this up at that time, but I have not heard anything different.
Just in case of point, Friday, the front door, somebody went out the front door and closed the door where it was always open. And I caught that Friday morning. I just locked it up, but that's the only time I've heard of any other problems. I know we've had a couple of windows here, but I think the police officers are shutting them. And I don't know what you two people think, but if the door is found, I think the police department should lock it.
Yeah. Well, we were, a long time ago, before, when we first moved into this building, we asked that they check the building at least once or twice a night.
And they do. When I stay late, I see them come in and check the building.
I do too. But we have an issue here, and it's just education. I think a lot of people don't realize they're the last person, or somebody's gonna lock the door up in here, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're usually the last person, but tonight we won't be the last person, and, you know, I won't be surprised if the door's unlocked tomorrow morning.
Is there a sign-out sheet for the last person out?
When it goes over to the police department.
Yeah, but usually, I think the ones that are leaving it open are the volunteers.
Yes.
It's not
I think so.
It's not the
I
regular.
think the regular staff has learned how to deal with it.
It's the volunteer boards that come in and use the building after. Either they come in when the building is open, that's what it's been in the past, they come in when the building's open, the employees go home, leave the building open because there's a public meeting, the volunteers then go out and they'd have to go over to the police station, get the key to come back to lock the door.
Right.
I say put some signs up, but they're only good to so many people.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're doing better, I think, we're not getting.
Let's see what the tendencies are, maybe we can work on it better this coming year. Reggie, you dealt with Adam, that's all set, right? Or you can't do anything until next
Not
year?
till July 1st.
That's fine.
Yeah. The other item, I'm sorry, Ed, is the senior center exterior sign. You would ask for a drawing or design, what it's going to look like, and it's the page 40, it's the last page of your packet.
Did they say how big that's gonna be?
2 by 3, if I'm not mistaken, let me just...
And that is going on the upper parking lot with an arrow, is that what it is?
Oh, it's going outside the building?
Yes.
Oh,
Did they buy it already?
No.
Tell them to see me if it gets approved, because I can probably get a really reasonable for them.
Okay.
Oh, here it is, senior center, yeah.
I'm just looking on your previous meeting, what the size was.
And that's gonna point to the door in the back, right? So that they don't have to come all the way
Right.
up those stairs.
That would be
That's good.
out there, but maybe we should put another arrow on the building to point to that door.
Yeah, that's a good
You know what I'm
idea.
saying?
yeah.
You see in the
But I'm
parking lot,
saying,
point it to the door.
and that should be the one that's the handicap, is there a sign out there that identifies that as the handicap accessible door?
No, they're both acceptable.
Oh, there, oh, okay,
Except this one here, eventually we're gonna get our automatic door opener.
right.
Yeah.
Move to approve their signage.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it is 2 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah,
Out there,
outside.
and I'll put that on. But if we put a similar sign on the small wall, I'd hate to see a 2 by 3, maybe something, 11 by 14 or something like that. Smaller version of it, just reduced with an arrow.
I'll just have them see you if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, some of these signs they can get really reasonable. Any other business?
Nothing.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Very good. I won't be here tomorrow, Reggie. Regional Transit Authority,
Move to sign.
Second.
all those in favor?
No, it requires your signature. Move to adjourn.
Good.
Very good. All right, so we should give this, so you want to take this back for Liz?